Hi, my name is Gerson Francisca Santos. Our report is about morphology in linguistics. Morphology, the field of linguistics that examines the word formation and the internal structure of words. It also deals with the analysis of words into meaningful units. To make it simple, morphology in linguistics is the study of words and how they are formed. Now, let's get to know about morpheme. Morpheme is the smallest meaningful morphological unit that cannot be further be divided into smaller parts. Morphemes are the minimal units of words that have a meaning and cannot be subdivided. Like for example is the word reopened. The word reopened is composed of 3 morphemes, just like the word unbreakable and unreadable, while the word illustrator is composed of 2 morphemes, just like boyish, and many other words. There are also words that are composed of 4 or 5 morphemes. Now, let's get to know the 2 types of morphemes, the free morpheme and the bound morpheme.
Hello everyone, my name is Ron Bermudez and I am the reporter of free morpheme. So free morphemes are the morphemes that can stand alone itself as a single word. It could be the lexical morpheme or the functional morpheme. So basically, there are 2 kinds of free morpheme, the lexical and the functional morpheme. So the lexical morphemes are the morpheme that can carry the content or the meaning of the message we are conveying. However, the functional morphemes are the morpheme that do not carry the content or the meaning of the message, but rather help the grammar of the sentence. So I have here an example of the difference between the lexical morpheme and the functional morpheme. So lexical morphemes has the noun, the verb, the adjective, and the adverb. So here are the examples. The dog, walk, happy, and big. And the functional morphemes has the determiner, pronoun, preposition, auxiliary verb, conjunctions, and interjections. Like for example, and, it, am, the, have, and but. So I have here an example of both lexical and functional morpheme. So here, I'm going to determine which are the lexical and the functional morpheme. A young child play happily in the backyard. So the A here is a functional because it is a preposition. Young is also a functional because it could be an adult or an adolescent. The child is a lexical because it could be a dog, a cat, or something. Played is a combination of functional and bound morpheme because the root word here is played and it has a suffix ed that bound here to a word played. So the word happily here is a functional because both functional and bound because the root word here is happy and the suffix here is ILY. In and the are functions, functional morpheme. So the word backyard here is a compound because it consists of a 2 word which is back and yard. So the bound morpheme will be discussed by Miss Angeline Refran, and I hope you understand and learn something about my video. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye.
Thank you, Ms. Anne Bermudez. I'm Angeline Refran, and I'm here to discuss about bound morphemes. Bound morpheme is a morpheme that cannot stand alone by itself to form a word. It must be joined to other morphemes. It is bound because although it has meaning, it cannot stand alone. It must be attached to another morpheme to produce a word. Bound morpheme may be inflectional or derivative. All prefixes and suffixes, or affixes rather, are bound morphemes. When free morphemes are used with bound morphemes attached, the basic word forms are known as fruits. For instance, in the example carelessness below, the bound morpheme less and less appears attached to the morpheme care, which is a free morpheme. Bound morpheme has two categories, derivational and inflectional. Derivational morphemes are the morphemes that transform words into different grammatical categories from the root word, which is a free morpheme. These morphemes transform words into different parts of speech. In order to identify a derivational morpheme, ask yourself this question. If this morpheme was added, would it change a part of speech of this word? Then, if the answer is yes, then you have a derivational morpheme. Examples of derivational morphemes are full, ness, less, ly, ish, and meant, and many more. All of these are prefixes and suffixes. While inflectional morphemes are the morphemes that indicate aspects of the grammatical function of a word, such as changing a word into a plural or possessive form. In order to identify an inflectional morpheme, ask yourself this. By adding this bound morpheme, does it keep the word in the same grammatical category? Then, if the answer is yes, then you have an inflectional morpheme. Some of the examples are indicated on the next slide we have. On inflectional morpheme, we only have 8 inflectional English morphemes. We have nouns S for possessives, S for plural, and we have verbs S for third person singular, ing present participle, ed past tense, and en for past participle. Adjectives er superlative and est comparative. The difference between these two bound morphemes is the derivational morpheme changes the grammatical category of words, while inflectional morpheme never changes grammatical category of words. In linguistics, we also have stem and roots, where stem occurs when a root morpheme is combined with an affix or bound morpheme. On the other hand, root words are the basic part of a word that carries a meaning. It serves as the basis for attaching other morphemes, usually bounds. Just like plants, words cannot exist without a root, because it is the core element. Some of the examples of roots and stem words are indicated below. And that's all. Thank you.